y'all, it's Dual Decisions here. I'm Nakee.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're back for another episode of our podcast. We'll be counting down our top 10 lists from movies to music and everything in between.
And today's topic is celebration of this beautiful 4th of July holiday. In the state of the world, in movies specifically, we're going to discuss top 10 bombs, box office bombs. That were pretty good. Pretty good. So look, just starting off, heads up. This is personal preference. So we're not talking about based on Rotten Tomato score. So we're going to go ahead and give you a quick breakdown of sort of like what the stipulations for it is, what qualifies as a box office bomb first, and then what criteria we're using to determine if they're good.
Yeah, so this is basically going to be where we basically classify in this podcast, today's episode, a box office bomb is a movie that did not make its budget.
Wait. It's not specifically did not make its budget.
Or rather,
we're counting that the total gross did not double its budget.
Yeah, so I was going to add that too. So first, it didn't make its budget because we were just defining like a bomb. It didn't make its money back.
Well,
and then
technically
today we're doing it didn't make at least 2 times.
Well,
So
So just a quick reason to why we're choosing 2 times its budget, because typically that's what movies would need to make in order to actually make its full money back. Because the budget of a movie is typically just how much it costs to make. That's not including marketing, advertising, any other deals or anything that's in the background. That's only the number they report. So that's why we're doing 2 times in our movies that like has made its technical budget back, because that would still be considered a loss.
Yes.
So that's why we're doing 2 times its budget.
Yes, and the gross we'll talk about today for box office is worldwide, not just U.S.
Yeah, so not just domestic. We're talking the full world, baby.
The whole total.
It did bad everywhere.
Yes, it did. It did bad everywhere. But again, it's still a good movie. It was just circumstances.
Now onto the good movie portion, right? How we determine if it's a good movie or not. It's very simple. It's personal preference.
Yes.
If we like the movie, it's considered good to us. So there may be movies on here that you completely disagree with because you may think it's not a good movie at all.
Yeah.
But who cares what you think? You know what I mean? Start your own podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Let's sit back and continue to listen to us talk about these movies that we personally enjoy.
Yes, and you might be shocked to find out some of these have some bombs. But before we get there, Brandon, can you tell some of our new followers what we do before we get into our podcast?
Yeah, before we get into the podcast, we typically do a little dual discussion. Now, basically what this section of the podcast is quite simple. I typically come up with a topic, would you rather, question, anything, and we just take like a couple seconds or a few minutes to discuss it before we hop into the meat of the podcast. The meat of the podcast.
Because, grilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the direction you took it. That wasn't the way I was thinking. So the question that I have for today's dual discussion, now I don't really know. Okay, so I kind of was going 2 minds on which question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
So I'll give you an option. Since it's the 4th of July, okay, now I just want to tell you a little insight into my mental thinking. Okay, whenever I think of the 4th of July, I think of disaster movies. Now you're probably like, why? Because Independence Day.
Yeah.
But so we can take it
which is a classic.
Yeah, we can take it in disaster movies, or so I'll go let you choose the topic, or we can go sort of 4th of July-ish theme. Sort of 4th of July-ish theme.
Let's do disaster.
Okay.
Because Independence Day, it came out today in 1997.
Okay. Well, you made it super simple. The question for today's dual discussion is, what disaster from any disaster movie do you think you could personally survive?
Ooh. Well, I know I'm not surviving the Final Destination Highway situation.
Look. Okay, hold on. Let me take a step back.
Yes.
To clarify what I mean by
I was going to say, because we say disaster, I think Final Destination.
No. See, you think it's too small. I'm talking about End of the World.
You talking about like
2012.
The Rock movie, the
San Andreas. Yeah, San Andreas 2012. Raptures. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you could survive any of those.
See, look, me, I think it would be
I'm thinking World War Z, if we're being honest, because I know
World War Z, no way.
Yes!
Those are way too fast.
If I'm with Brad Pitt and them,
But you won't be. Most of the people he's with,
Yeah, but he knew when he figured it out. Spoiler: if you haven't seen the movie by now, I don't know what to tell you. That they have to be quiet. Like
No,
noise is what attracts
no. It's
them.
not quiet. Remember, at the end of the movie, it's discovered that they only attack healthy people. So he had to give himself was it a disease or a virus?
Yeah, like a virus.
Yeah. It was a virus that was non-lethal that you can then get rid of later, and you basically invisible to the zombies. So once again, that's pretty easy. And considering there may be like a lot of people that survive.
Because I don't even know. Would you survive I Am Legend? Not really, because he ended up blowing up like all the things.
Yeah, see me, if I had to pick one, the one I think I would go for is probably Independence Day. Because I feel like they're only going to destroy the big cities first. And they can actually be defeated. Because I believe in the second Independence Day movie, which I haven't seen, tried to watch it, fell asleep,
There's a
gave
second
up.
one?
Oh, yeah. It's called like Independence.
We don't know that. We know the Will Smith one.
Yeah, it's called like Independence Day Requiem or something. I just made that up. I don't know if that's what it's called.
Do y'all remember when Will Smith dragged that alien across the desert?
Yeah,
that is my favorite scene out of that whole
then
movie.
punch them.
So funny. So funny.
So this is the thing. So I think Independence Day, because the aliens can be defeated.
Maybe. Okay, maybe. Well, that doesn't count as that's a horror movie.
What?
I was gonna say It.
Nah. I don't think you could.
You could survive.
Well, you technically can't because
you
have to go in and knowing
Dairy?
that. Yeah. But most people didn't though. He was just offing people, and you can't kill him either. He pop back up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, honestly, okay, this doesn't count as a disaster. Like,
oh wait! I take it back. I know what disaster I can for surely survive. War of the Worlds, because the dumb aliens didn't realize that they couldn't drink our water or breathe our atmosphere, so they came here, killed us, a lot of us, and then started dying off. So I feel like all you need to do is survive, let's say a month, and then you should be good.
I don't know. I can't think of one I would be able to survive in since it's not World War Z.
Yeah, Disney. Resident Evil.
No, I would not be able to survive. When we break down the types of zombies.
Well, I guess the Resident Evil would difficult because it's technically airborne.
Right.
So like ain't no getting away.
You're
from
immediately,
Does TV shows count? Because if TV shows count, easily The Walking Dead.
If we go on to TV shows, I'm going
with those slow moving zombies.
Look now. If we go on to TV shows, I'm going to From. I know not to go outside at night.
That one technically counts as a disaster because it's only affecting that one town.
Yes. Look, I know not to go outside at night.
Worldwide, baby.
I know we can't go to sleep. Spoiler if you ain't seen it.
I mean, honestly, we probably shouldn't spoil that right now. Okay.
But yeah.
I think that's enough to do a discussion. See, I'm going to say the go ahead. I don't know where that was even come from. But yeah, so for me, Waterworlds, the Tom Cruise version. I don't know if there's a version before that.
And if this counts, I'm going to From Land.
That don't count because that's only a town.
Okay.
Because to me, disaster has to be worldwide, baby.
Then
Mr. Worldwide.
Okay. Then yep, I'll just stick with World War Z.
I was trying to think of any animated movies to where like aliens attacked, and it was like super easy to beat them.
I don't know.
Okay.
Meteor Man?
What?
No, that's not what that is.
You go ahead and intro the show. We good.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the parameters of our countdown. So the way this works is Brandon has brought 10 items.
No, I didn't bring 10. Individually. We both created a list.
Yes. With no particular order.
Yeah, in no particular order. Just a list of things that we would like to add to a master list, which is basically going to be a combination of both of ours.
Yes.
So we both have technically limited ourselves to 10 people on the list. But we're going to...
It gets hard when you have to,
Yeah, so basically, the first part of the podcast, our goal is to make a master list.
Yes.
So I get 5 picks, Nakee get 5 picks, and then we will fight to the death to rank them to make sure that the movies we put on the list will rank the highest.
Yes, and if you're new here, don't worry. We will also release the following Tuesday how we ranked the list individually
Yeah, how
because
we rank the master list individually, not like the
yes,
personal list we
the
bring in.
master list, because you might not agree, we might not agree on where certain things are placed. So we release those every Tuesday before a new podcast
Yep.
release. So if you're new here, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us on all those socials.
At Do
Um,
Decisions Everywhere.
at Do Decisions Everywhere. All right. So Brandon, since it's the 4th of July, I'm gonna let you go first.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay.
Usually I go first.
Okay. For me, the first movie I think that has to be on this list,
Okay.
is a movie that is so good that it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I guarantee. Don't look it up. Don't ask. Poseidon. Okay.
Okay, which Poseidon? The
Yeah,
1930,
yeah.
yeah,
No,
or the
no. The
2007?
2006.
Six? Yeah, that
Yeah.
was six. Oh,
Yeah.
with
Yeah, the
Fergie.
2006 Poseidon. Hear me out. I know immediately y'all out there is like, no way did he just start off this podcast like that. Look, the
I liked it.
2006 Poseidon
I liked it.
is a movie bop. Okay,
Ah.
look, it's a good chill movie to watch, right? A nice little disaster flick, Titanic light.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Except it flipped over.
I mean, which I think would probably be
That's more terrifying than just sinking.
yeah, but if you think about it, it should technically create some little air pockets, so you could have probably survived.
Well, that we did. Well, remember, if you spoiler at this point again, it's over a decade old. It's like almost 2 decades old. If you watch, they even talked about it because remember, one of the guys was an engineer and he knew where the air pockets were.
Yeah, on the ship. Yeah.
Yes, but R.I.P. to all the people.
Yeah.
Movie.
So yeah, first movie off the rip.
Okay.
Poseidon.
Okay.
Look, don't worry. It's gonna be some other actual quote unquote good movies on
I
the list
like
later.
the movie.
But,
I was just mad that they sold it on Fergie and she was in it for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Now
that's when the Black Eyed Peas was popping.
Yeah. Now along with that, let me go ahead and give you the cost and what the movie made.
Yes.
And why I considered it a box office flop. Poseidon. Once again, this is according to the interwebs out there. If you disagree with what I'm saying, then take it up with Google. Poseidon cost, and also I just rounded my numbers. I'm not giving y'all points.
Yeah, we're not doing all that.
The cost of the movie was about $160 million. It made about $182 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
So to me, that counted as a box office flop because once again, our parameters, it did make at least double.
Right.
At least double. So first, Poseidon for me.
Oh my goodness. See, and I didn't even think about that. Ooh, I got some bangers on here. All right, so I'm gonna come out the gate with a movie that I think the original version was better, and I looked up both versions because I wanted to see and compare the two, and I was kind of happy technically that the original version was able to make this list. Okay, The Thing. 1982, The Thing, okay?
Oh, the original.
The original. The remake, when I get the original, The Thing, okay?
Super surprised by that one.
It was not successful. Its box office was about 19,632,000, and
the box office.
The box office,
dang,
and its budget was 15 million. Okay, I was shocked. I double checked, triple checked all sources.
Wait, you said it made how much?
It only made 19,632,000, and that's rounded it.
And the budget was what?
The budget was 15 million.
Oh.
It did not do that great, which was shocking. It's a really good movie. Think about how terrifying it is. Like,
yeah, it is.
Kind of like on some.
It's the original Among Us to all you youngins out there.
It's
kind of what Among Us is based off of.
Hell, I was gonna even say that Nick Fury show. You just don't know who is who. It's so terrifying though. Very terrifying.
Yeah.
It's a good movie though. Classic.
Speaking of classics, on to my next pick, which is certified classic.
Okay.
And this one is not really any jokes involved. This is legit a certified classic. The one and only Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank. Okay. Y'all ready for this? Budget $25 million. Which, what did they spend it on? Is the second. Well, I would assume the actors.
Is Shawshank Stephen King? Yes, I believe so because Family Guy made fun of it, and they had the Stephen King trilogy thing going on.
And it made, y'all. Once again, I'm rounding up. 29 million. Yeah.
That's bad.
But this is the thing though. It's weird because technically, do Oscar movies and once again I'm classifying this like the Oscar bait kind of movie because that's really what it was.
Yeah. Andy
Fantastic
Dufresne.
movie. I ain't hating on Shawshank, so put your pitchforks down. But Shawshank is like one of the most masterful films out there. I would assume that the 25 million that it cost to make went towards the actors because it had like Morgan
I
Freeman,
mean, Morgan
Tom
Freeman
Hanks,
alone. Yeah, like the
uh,
moment you say that, that's the budget right there.
Clancy Brown's in it. I think.
Yeah, Clancy Brown
Yeah,
is in it
yeah,
because he's like the warden, right?
no, he not the war. He like one of the officers that
Oh
you know.
no, yeah.
Yeah, Shawshank is a masterpiece. No, nonetheless, one of the classic movies out there.
And if y'all don't
Fantastic
know,
film.
Clancy Brown is Mr. Krabs
Yeah.
because I know we don't really refer to him by his
Once again, to
name.
all you young, oh my
Uh-huh.
god, I can't even say young. It's not SpongeBob, about 20 years old.
Yeah. Okay, so this next movie shocked the hell out of me when I looked it up. Again, I triple checked this because I was like, no way, no way. The 1996 Matilda movie
I mean,
was a flop. It is a classic. I don't understand what happened. You had Danny DeVito. This is the first time. This is the movie for me where I was just like, oh my goodness, like, yes, get revenge on your family because they treat you like crap. Like, your brother ain't shit. Your
yeah.
mama daddy ain't shit.
See,
Like,
that's actually interesting because
yes,
if you wouldn't have told me that, I would have assumed that it flopped.
it was a flop.
Yeah,
Its box office was 33 million and its budget was 36. So it didn't even make back.
Jesus Christ.
It was close, but it did not make back.
Yeah, because like the weirdest thing is Matilda to me has always been one of those like movies that a bunch of like a weird section of kids like growing up.
Yeah, but people wouldn't even know Matilda, the 1996 version, is a book adaptation.
Yeah,
like Roald Dahl wrote the book, and then they eventually made it into a movie.
Truth be told, I used to always get it confused with Annie. I used to always think Matilda was Annie.
Not even the same.
And
Annie is not even telekinesis. Like, don't even know how you mix those up, bro.
No. This thing growing up, whenever people were talking about Matilda, I was always thinking it's a hard knock life. That's all I used to think of.
No,
but now growing up, that was Annie.
No, I forgot the song. It's a really popular song in that movie. It's during the breakfast.
Matilda has a song in it.
Yeah, it's a song in it, and it's while she's making breakfast, and I forgot the name of the song, but if you go back and watch it, and during that montage where she's making the breakfast with her brain, it's like it's a popular song playing. If that's the scene I'm thinking of, but there is definitely a popular song in that movie.
Speaking of superhuman powers, dun, 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 my next movie up. Have to give a shout out to the big homie out there, James Gunn. Okay, because this movie was one of the gems of the pandemic era. One of the pandemic areas.
It was an area for sure.
Yeah. One of the pandemic eras. The Suicide Squad. Now, but before we talk about this movie, let me go about that. Do not confuse this with Suicide Squad. Okay.
Yeah, so there's two.
Yeah. This is technically a sequel remake of the Suicide Squad that David Ayer, I think is his name, that he made with the terrible Joker.
That wasn't good.
With the ha-ha-ha's and the purple Lamborghini for no reason. This isn't that one. This is the one that James Gunn made, introduced us to Peacemaker, had a bunch of fantastic actors in it. The reason why this, I think, has to be on the list is because this, I think, is this movie, if we weren't in the Panini,
oh my goodness,
I think we would have.
It probably would have been good. I did like it. It was more realistic than things coming out the water.
Well, yeah, like overall, I just think
the intro scene was great.
Yeah, like I think it's a very good, fun, different comic book movie, which is one of the things I like about it. It's not the same. It's not Marvel, really. You know what I'm saying? Like it has hints of that, but it infuses the comedic stuff with the action stuff really well, and the grotesque, gruesome stuff as well too. And I think the character stuff was dope. We had Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. I think he's King Shark in the movie. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. Had the boy Idris Elba in the movie. You know, he always fired. Margot Robbie back.
Yes.
Okay. John Cena. You know what I mean?
You know what? That makes me sad, though, to even think about, like, where is Marvel going to head now that Guardians of the Galaxy is over and James Gunn is done? Like, no one should touch Guardians.
I mean,
Okay.
Somebody gonna touch it.
Don't touch it. It was good. Don't touch it.
Put your hands all on it, moving around a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Now, let's go ahead and talk about the numbers.
The numbers. Yes.
This movie cost, according to the Googles, $185 million. $185 million. Which, look, I actually see where the budget went for this movie. There's some movies out there that could be costing over $100 million. I'm like, no
Margot
way.
Robbie, first of all.
Well, yeah,
because she was coming like Wolf of Wall Street, like her salary immediate. Yes.
Look, this thing, a lot of this budget I would assume is for the actors because it had a gang of actors in there.
Yes.
Only made, once again though, takes with a grain of salt.
Pandemic affected its box office.
$169 million.
Yeah.
So $169 million worldwide.
And this was around we were coming back outside. So no, we were still at home.
Yeah, I believe this is 20.
Is it 2021?
21
we were starting to 21 we were starting to come back outside. But some people,
I mean, technically we weren't starting to come back out if it was like 2022 when it was like no.
Was it the top of 21? Because that would make a difference.
Depending on like wherever you lived at.
Yeah. That would make a difference.
I don't remember, but I do remember it's one of the movies that came to HBO Max like super fast.
Yes, because if it was the
Max now because they changed it.
Yeah. But if it was the top of 21, nobody was outside yet. We weren't allowed to go back outside till like summer 21.
Allowed. You know what I mean? It was a choice. But look. Overall,
it wasn't the norm until the summer of 21 to start going back out. We were in the winter, nobody was outside. So I would understand if it's before March.
Quick heads up. Was that my third pick?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my third.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Suicide Squad I think is an excellent movie. It's very comedic, action oriented, and very well written. A lot of great characters.
Okay.
I love the guy that played Polka Dot Man. Sad what happened to him at the end of the movie. That want to spoil it, just watch it.
See, again, it's like 4 years old at this point, y'all, coming out.
What year do you think we in?
We going into 2021. Yeah, okay, 3 years old, right? 2 years old.
Yeah.
Look, my brain has been fuzzled since we've been inside for 2 years straight. All right. So next one I got is a Disney classic that I was, again, shocked, had the triple Disney, and I was like, what? Because it was a theatrical release that would eventually be replayed during Halloween, and it is Hocus Pocus.
See this
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, this movie I totally forgot about.
Hocus Pocus box office was 39,500,000, and the budget was 28 million.
Yeah. See, Hocus Pocus was one of those movies that I've always known as a flop, but eventually became a cult classic.
Yes.
Which I have totally forgot that this movie was a flop because of how ingrained it is in like Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So sad about that, And I forgot her. Kathy was coming off of Sister Act 2. This was 3 years post Sister Act 2. Yeah, Back in the Habit. Yep. So I was kind of sad about that because even her name alone, Kathy Najimy, would have been like a huge thing. I mean, even not just, Kathy. We had my girl. What's her name?
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Bette Midler?
Yes, Bette Midler. Okay. Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Just the queen of Broadway. So.
Okay, so here's a question.
Uh-oh.
Which direction should I take this?
Uh-oh.
Because
and my question to you too, because it's a special episode, would we also at the end like to reveal the ones that we were still like, or we want to hold them?
See me,
because some of them I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, see me, I'm gonna hold them.
Okay.
Just because I may use them again in the future.
Okay.
Which is why I'm trying to figure out which direction I want to go. So I got 2 more slots to fill.
Yes. And right now, so we haven't really talked about this, but if you're new here, if for some reason, I don't think today this is going to happen. Yeah. If for some reason we had the same movie, we would have an open spot and we would be able to fight to the death to fill it. But I don't think that's going to happen today. Yeah. So, because
we have very different
tastes.
To where mine is good.
You know what?
So speaking of good movies,
okay,
so this to me is just a certified bop of a movie again.
Okay,
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Okay. Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of my favorite movies of all time. Rewatching it today, there's some stuff in it that's a little, sign of the times y.
Oh, it wouldn't
Okay.
fit in today's
No,
climate.
definitely not. Okay. Like
Uh-oh.
Scott Pilgrim is a terrible person in the movie.
Oh,
But back then it was just fun and kooky. But now it's kind of like
I'm gonna have to check that out. I
it's
don't
like
remember.
my my guy's a little weird.
Okay.
But the movie itself is done very well. Once again, it mixes the comedic tone and writing and everything of Edgar Wright, who it's the guy that did Baby Driver and Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
Oh, Shaun of the Dead is funny.
Let me actually, while I'm talking, Google that to make sure I'm right. But I believe it's the same director that did Shaun of the Dead and all the
Okay.
other Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright.
Yeah. I believe he did Scott Pilgrim. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim is like one of the first movies I remember being like very, very video game oriented. That first, like, even though Scott Pilgrim wasn't technically a video game, it's one of the movies that's very video game oriented. That plays a lot in that like video game ish genre to the point that like when he defeat the evil X's in a movie. Okay, so the plot of this movie,
Okay.
because Nakee is sitting over there looking confused.
And also before
Okay.
Brandon gets into it, yes, he did Baby Driver, Shaun of the Dead. He also did
Yeah.
Last Night in Soho.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good movie.
Yeah, fight director.
Uh-huh.
So Scott Pilgrim. Let me clear my throat. Scott Pilgrim is actually like an incredible movie.
Yes.
The premise of the movie is basically this guy gets interested in his girl and find out he has to defeat her 7 evil exes in order to date her. So that's like the overall premise of it. So it once again, it's very video gamey, very comic booky, very graphic novelishy. The way the movie and everything is done. So Scott Pilgrim, I think, is a fantastic movie. It cost
Mm-hmm.
$80 million to make.
Ooh.
$80 million to make this movie.
Ow.
By the way, the cast in this movie is fire. Brie Larson, Michael Cera, one of the Culkins, I think, is in this.
That's
maybe.
probably where one of the salaries alone.
It's a ton of people. Chris Evans is in this movie. It is a ton of like fantastic actors that's in this movie. The movie is done really well. Like I said, the movie cost $80 million. According to the interwebs. I want you to get how much do you think this movie made? Cost 80 million. Remember, I think that it did not double its budget. So, what you think?
60 million.
60 million. You will be wrong. Only made $49 million.
Ooh, ow.
Only made $49 million.
Ooh.
Once again, these are just round numbers, but only made about $49 million worldwide.
Ouch.
Just that I don't think people was ready for like the whole video game nerd aesthetic back then when this movie came out, which I think was in 2010 or 11 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie would have crushed later down the line when we got into like the heavy Marvel stuff. But yeah, only $49 million. Damn, that's sad.
Well, speaking of movies that only made half of their budget, I had to bring him up again because we highlighted him for Black fictional characters. But if you looked at his movie, I was also shocked.
If I can guess this movie, you can't put it on the list.
I got backups.
If I guess this movie, no way you put this movie on the list. If it is what I think it is, because no way you think this movie is good. Is it Pluto Nash?
No.
Oh, thank God, Christ!
No, it's not Pluto Nash, and he was not a Black fictional character we had.
I'm just saying, I thought we would have to get divorced or something.
See, and Pluto Nash,
because if you put
that's for another day.
Yeah, if you put Pluto Nash on the list,
Pluto Nash was that's for another day. It's such a 2000s movie. Undercover Brother.
Oh, that movie flopped.
It did.
See,
it had 41,600,000 for the box office, and its budget was 25 million. It was so close.
Oh yeah. So see, in my mind, I didn't consider it a flop. Like
it's a Black classic.
Wait, no, I ain't saying that because in my mind I'm thinking, oh, this movie had to cost like $5 billion to make. So like to me, the budget wasn't that high for it to be a flop. But that's surprising.
Yeah. I mean, but you had Eddie Griffin, you had Dave Chappelle, you had Anjanae, I forgot her last name.
I can't help with that. I don't really know actors and actors' names.
You had Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle Ruckus
himself before the Boondocks. But I'm just saying, like, the budget alone went to their salaries because Eddie Griffin was Eddie Griffin even during 2005. So yeah, so Undercover Brother. I'm sorry, but it
Damn.
unfortunately was a box office flop, but it was so close to making its money back, like being a successful box office.
Well, speaking of people who just crushes at the box office and is not controversial at all and is amazing human beings, my fifth pick is The Flash. No, I'm joking.
I was gonna say,
Definitely not The Flash.
no.
My fifth pick, fifth and final pick, goes to a movie that I think is extremely exceptional and withstands the test of time.
Okay.
A movie from the early aughts. And you're like, what's the odds? That's the early 2000s. 2002 to be exact.
Uh-oh. This can go either way.
Animated movie.
Uh-oh.
Animated so beautifully that even today on a nice 4K OLED TV, it's like, oh my God, they put their foot in this movie. The movie Treasure Planet.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Ooh. What was you thinking?
I was gonna say Finding Nemo.
What? No.
What?
Wait, also, did Finding Nemo make like $1 billion? But yeah, Treasure Planet.
Okay.
Treasure Planet is a fantastic movie that I recently rewatched with the kids, and they was hooked from the beginning of the movie to the very end. The movie is animated beautifully. The colors and everything still pop. It still stands up. The story is still engaging. It still has that whimsical imagination as well as some of that adult stuff that like the old animated movies back in the day used to have. So let's talk about numbers. Okay, this movie was whew, this movie was at some point the most expensive animated movie ever made.
Uh-oh.
But
outside of Toy Story?
yeah, it was at one at the time. Okay, this
Okay.
movie cost $140 million
Oh
to
my
make.
goodness.
Okay, now a lot of that has to do with
That's too much.
back in the day, certain things weren't up to snuff to like the way that we able to make animated movies now.
Right. So I'm gonna need y'all also to go back and watch Toy Story, the
Yeah.
first one, and tell me what you think.
Yeah,
Now
well-
that we're now.
Now, one
Yeah.
of the things I want you to notice, and I'm gonna say this so you can never unsee it.
Oh geez.
The toys blink individually, so they
Yes.
do one eye at a time.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind.
And the
when you
humans
watch it.
do too.
Yeah. Anybody in the movie that blink, one eye go down, then the next one go down. You think, oh my
Yes.
God, what's wrong with all these people?
Yes.
They all act like animatronics. Okay, the movie made only so budget 140 million, right? That's what I said.
Mhm.
Movie only made 110 million.
It was close.
Yeah, this thing it was
So
close, but not close enough.
Not close enough.
Treasure Planet is an exceptional animated movie, and shout out to all the artists and VFX artists and everybody that worked on this movie because it still holds up. It's a beautiful movie.
And you know what? I've been conflicting with how I want to end this. So, with your permission, when we done, do I have permission to reveal the rest of my list? Because I can't hold it in. Because some things on here.
Let's do this. Okay. Lucky for y'all.
There's some things
It's
on
the 4th
here.
of July.
Yes.
Let's actually reveal the movies that
Yes.
didn't make the
It's some
list.
things on here that I was like,
before we
I
get to
can't.
ranking. Let's
Yes,
go ahead
before we
and
rank.
reveal them.
So
But
before we do that,
yeah,
I'm
go-
gonna put my last movie on the list since I know we'll talk about the other ones.
Is it Glitter?
It is not Glitter.
Mm.
I
wonder why.
I love Mariah. But I mean, I'm a huge. So first of all, I'm a part of the Lambley. A sidebar, okay. Glitter would have been better if you read the memoir. You know what
Okay,
happened.
All right.
First of all,
Fifth pick of the movie
anyways,
is What I Learned in Boarding School is.
Brandon needs to go read the memoir. Okay, it's upstairs, hard copy, hardback. All right, all right. So since I
That's my
know,
name in high school hardback.
oh my
I
goodness.
don't know what that is. Me.
Okay, so I loved Hamilton, right? And I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. Unfortunately, this is a movie that also came off the back of the pandemic
Oh yeah.
in the Heights.
Yeah, because wasn't this movie also like a
Yeah.
Disney Plus same day movie?
Because of the pandemic.
'cause-
It was
'cause-
21 as well.
Yeah, because didn't we watch it on
We
Disney
did.
Plus when
We
it aired?
did. Yeah.
It was good. It was a good movie though.
It's such a good movie. And it had $45,200,000 at the box office, but the budget was 55.
I'll be real. I expected way higher budget for that
Yeah.
movie because the sets and stuff was like
I think they were literally in the Bronx though. Like when they shot it,
they could have been.
yeah, some of it, most of it at least.
No way. Because it wasn't that time period as well, like set in the 90s or something? Am I just making that up?
You just making it
No,
up.
I'm pretty sure the
I
movie's
mean,
like
there's
set
some
in the 90s.
flashbacks, but most of it is modern.
I thought the movie was like set in the 90s. Look, anyway, I just expected that to be like $100 million movie based on like the production of it.
And
so,
it was also coming off the back of Hamilton, which
Yeah.
you would have been like, oh my gosh, like let's go
Yeah, but-
watch In the Heights.
hey, to give credit to them, they made a $55 million movie looking way bigger than I
Yeah.
would have thought it was.
And a couple people from Hamilton were in the movie. So, you know,
Yeah, cost less than Cats.
Cats, no. Cats would not be. No. Cats is not on my list. Is it on your list? Because
In no way, shape, or form would that movie ever be on anybody's list. Because nobody in the world think Cats is a
even the
good movie.
1970 Broadway,
I mean,
just don't understand.
People dressed as cats, y'all.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell y'all.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give out my list first,
Okay.
just because I'm not actually gonna talk about how much they lost, how much they made. Just know that these was all box office bombs.
Yes.
But these was these were the 5 movies that, the other 5 movies that was on my list. The first one is Amsterdam. Okay, it was a movie with Isaiah Washington, I believe. The guy who played the record producer in Cadillac Records, what's his name? Brody.
Adrian Brody.
I think it's Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody is the girl that played Harley Quinn in this as well. Oh God,
Okay.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. I was gonna say, wait a minute now.
I think it's Margot Robbie. I don't know.
Because there's a couple actresses. They literally like
Margot Robbie clones.
yes.
But yeah, this movie was also a movie I really enjoyed. This was like an end of the pandemic movie as well. But yeah, the story was very engaging. I just particularly enjoyed this movie. And I feel like it should have been. I feel like more people should have seen the movie. I think the movie was really good. The second movie that was not on the list is Mars Needs Moms. So this movie is a bit conflicting to me. Okay. Now this one, I'm gonna go ahead and just give you the numbers for this one because this one is kind of outrageous. The movie cost $150 million.
Okay.
Only made $39 million.
Ooh, ow.
Okay.
Ooh,
So-
heart attack.
So
Bankruptcy. Oh,
yeah.
God.
So like the reason why I just wanted to call out Mars Needs Moms. The thing that Mars Needs Moms failed at is that they tried to do a thing to where they made very human looking characters,
Okay.
which came off very off putting. Okay, it's very off putting in a movie, but I think overall the movie is a good movie. I think it's done well. The character designs, while a little bit creepy because they look very almost human. I think the movie itself is really good. It has a really good story. Premise of the movie: this boy ain't shit to his mom. His mom get kidnapped by aliens because they're like, you don't want your mom. I'll take her. We need her for our kids. So they take the mom. They take all the moms on Earth, and then this little boy try to go save him. But overall, I really think the movie itself is good. The other thing I have on my list is Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. This is a very niche film. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's a Jack Black movie. To me, it's very hilarious. Once again, super inappropriate for the day. No way nobody just can watch this movie now. Bunch of weird stuff in it. They fight the devil. It's a good little comedy bop movie.
Was it around his School of Rock time?
No, I think a bit later
And-
because it was when he was in Tenacious D.
And it was
Or
before-
actually, he may have been younger. in that
And then
movie.
was it before the Panda movie?
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda.
I ain't even gonna hold you. I have no idea. But the last, right? Is this my last one?
Yeah, I believe so.
The last one I have is The Wolfman. Okay.
Actually, this is 4. You have one more.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So this one is The Wolfman. The
Okay.
Wolfman fire movie. The old dude in there who's been old forever, not Morgan Freeman, but the white one.
The
Sir
white one?
Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins is in this movie. And I forgot who plays the other wolf guy. This movie is one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time. This is literally one of my Halloween go-to movies, or a movie like whenever I'm like, man, I could really go for a wolf movie. It's typically gonna be The Wolfman. It mixes like the modern day movie making stuff with like the whole wolf people with like the very like old school vibe of it's a big castle, a small town.
Hmm.
Somebody's been bit by a wolf, and it's very gruesome. But the Wolfman, if you haven't seen a Wolfman and you like werewolf movies, vampire movies, stuff, I would check out the Wolfman, even though there is no vampires in it. I don't know why I said vampire movies.
Is this the one I was thinking of where they're in that like Western town?
Yeah.
It looks like the West, like the saloons and stuff. Or am I like imagining like a whole different
Yeah,
set?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got it in my head. I have to go check. I'm probably right.
Also, just as an aside, if you also want another good werewolf movie, The Wolf Among Us. Very good werewolf movie.
I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally, the last movie on my list that was a box office bomb is The Land of the Lost. This was a Will Ferrell movie. That's, to me, comedic genius. I fucking love this movie. This movie is funny as shit. But the problem with this movie is you either like or don't like Will Ferrell. And to me, he is the most hit or miss comedic actor out there.
No, Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Adam Sandler as well. But for me, it's Will Ferrell, and in this, Will Ferrell is hitting in this movie. Him, Danny McBride is in it. It's this stupid character named Chaka that they meet is like this. Look, this is the premise of the movie is basically he found out he go to like a land that's in between time travel, a whole bunch of other stuff. It's
What?
just super weird. But look, hey, this thing, guys. Maybe we make a Patreon. Maybe I show Nakee all these movies and get her reactions.
Yes.
Because I think it would be
live reactions, y'all.
Yeah. Because Land of the Lost is the 5th movie on my list.
Okay. So yeah, this gonna be a special episode because we didn't have no movies in common.
Yeah.
My
You didn't have Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny?
I did not.
Oh, that's surprising. I thought everybody loved that movie.
I did not even know that it's a thing. My first one was Devil in a Blue Dress.
Yeah, good one.
Love Don Cheadle. Love Denzel Washington. This movie was so fantastic.
Whenever I hear Don Cheadle's name, I just think of people with Cheeto fingers.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you about him. Mouse is such an iconic freaking character.
Yeah,
he did not play. Okay.
I've seen Devil in a Blue Dress in so long.
It's so good. Don't matter when you watch it. Like, that's my Denzel Washington go-to besides Train Today is definitely Devil in a Blue Dress. It deserved better. But it wasn't as bad. Like, it was close to making its budget back. It did not get close to doubling. But it was close to making his budget back. Another shocker was The Wizard of Oz, 1939. Wizard of Oz, the original, with Judy Garland. During that time.
Yeah, I'm surprised because what else are y'all gonna go do?
Well,
look at each other.
If you've watched the Judy Garland documentary, it is very heartbreaking. The movie, so terrible what they did to her during the filming of this movie.
Her and then that who's the other like very young girl?
Yeah, but the Munchkins too. They
but
it was terrible.
Yeah, I was talking about the one that used to always come on the commercials back in the day.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, the stuff they did to Shirley Temple too.
That was terrible. So I wanted to bring up Wizard of Oz budget because you got to think about 1939 and inflation today. I wonder what it would be. I did not research this, so if y'all can research, drop it in the comments.
I can research it right now.
Okay. So box office was $3 million. So $3 million in 1939. What is it today?
Okay, hold on. First off, I want to see. I just want to look at what the inflation of it is, just overall.
Okay.
So, Wizard of Oz. Okay, it ended up costing at the time.
Yes.
MGM 1.1 million. Is that what you got?
I had 2.7 million.
Okay. So right now, and this is from Insider, they say that back then it ended up costing about 1.1 million at the time of the day. Adjusted for inflation, that's about 20 million that it cost to make the movie. Okay. The box office. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it's kind of difficult to get.
Yeah.
Well, so you said the box office you got for
it's $3 million.
Okay.
So what was $3 million from 1939? What is that today? It's got to be close to like 15 million if 1 point something is like 20.
Well, so is you getting worldwide? Because
I was getting
okay,
worldwide.
okay. So this was difficult to calculate. They've re-released this movie multiple times over the years.
Okay.
So its box office is different
Okay.
because they've re-released it multiple times.
Okay.
So it's technically has made more money. But I'm just saying 3 million.
3 million was the original.
Okay, so 3 million adjusted for inflation for what year?
1939.
Okay, here we
Which
go.
is wild. That's like, whew.
Man, y'all was doing nothing, huh? Okay. My bad. My bad, everybody. Okay, trust me, it's not my fault. Okay. 3 million adjusted for inflation. You said 1939.
Yes.
That's about 60.
Ooh.
I'm gonna round up about 66 million.
Okay.
So about 66 million. But cost 20 million, made about 66. Well, see, difficult to tell because we actually don't know how much it actually costs. But going off your 2.7 million, well, I guess we'll have to see what that is. But if it made about 3, so probably, let's say it cost 60 million, made 65.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, probably not really though, because remember when Star Wars first came out, that was a huge risk for people because like.
Right. But I just think about like all the stuff that Judy Garland went through.
Yeah.
And that's probably why she was never able to get out of that. Like they always saw her as.
I mean, well, also it was a bunch of other background stuff that's going on with that.
Y'all go check out the documentary. The movie. It's so sad. Okay. My next one was Annie. 1982 Annie. Okay.
The Annie. You mean Matilda?
No, Annie. The Annie that has.
It's a hard knock life.
Carol
Baskin.
No, it did not have Carol Baskin.
Oh my bad.
Carol Burnett. Yeah. Carol Burnett in it, and which she did a fantastic job. Okay. And it had whatchamacallit that played Kojak. I don't know if you ever remember the show Kojak.
Once again, you can't just throw names out.
I've been watching all the old school stuff. Okay.
If it ain't Marvel, Harry Potter, I don't know none of those people.
Now, if y'all know Kojak from the 1970s, he played the guy he played the one that saves her. He's the one that adopts her. In the 1970 version, in the 1982 version, he adopts her. That movie, I was shocked.
Quick question. How many you got left?
I have 2 after Annie.
Okay. And then after this, we're going to go back and tell that.
Yes, we are. But I was just like, oh my goodness. But yeah, Annie, shocking. Okay, this next one, Brandon is not going to agree with. I don't care because it has become a cult classic. Black people, it has terrified Black people.
It is personal preferences. Yes. You like it. If you like it, you like
it. It has terrified Black people for generations to come. Okay? It's Bones.
I was like, wait, hold
on.
To
this day.
First off, I never said I don't like Bones. I just said it's not a good movie. We can't sit there and lie.
You can't say that the first half of Bones is solid. Second half is like, all right, what we doing? But that first half,
this thing, Bones
leading up to when he come out of the basement.
Yeah, Bones is super enjoyable. Bones is a good movie.
Yes, let me tell you, the scene with the pizza and the maggots are falling on the pizza and they eating it. Yeah, crazy.
Bones is a good movie to me, but I'm saying, if you take a step back, it's not a good movie overall.
Okay, honestly though, from Bones, I don't know about y'all.
Also, some of the effects is terrible, like the blood.
Okay, but we know that. Okay, all right, we know that. We know that.
Yada through the back stuff.
Okay, but the budget was only $16 million. They didn't have a lot to spare. You had to pay Snoop Dogg. But
how much did it make?
It made $8,400,000.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah. So, but my thing is though, most memorable quote from that movie is, "At a time like this, is that what you really want to know? How the fuck I got in here?" Oh my God. Rest in peace to Ricky Harris because, man, that was iconic. Okay. And my last one, I don't know about y'all. I'm a fanatic of the Saw franchise. This is not Saw. All of those did well, obviously, because they're Saw. Dead Silence. Y'all always overlook Mary Shaw. Let me tell you, if you tell me I can't scream, I'm gonna fuck around and scream.
See, to be fair though.
Oh, such a good movie.
Dead Silence gets super convoluted at
the
end.
So good. But again, that first half.
I mean, Dead Silence is another one of my favorite horror movies.
I
It's very
like
good.
and I love the because I forgot the
To me,
brothers.
it's very good to me.
I forgot the brothers' names, but there's the brothers. They worked on all like they're brothers. They worked on the Saw franchise and all of that, and they collaborate.
Duffer
And
Brothers? No,
no,
those are Stranger Things people.
but I believe it's the brothers. With Dead Silence, best.
Wait, no. Didn't James Wan do something?
Oh, actually, no, I take that back. James Wan, but Dead Silence.
Is that him too? Is that
James
Wan?
did work on it, but he wasn't the one that did Dead Silence. He helped work on it because Billy's in it, so his name had to be on it because Billy's in one of the puppet things. Remember?
Yeah,
they had to put his name on it because they're using.
He's also in Aquaman, so
Yes.
keep that in mind.
And isn't it he Insidious? Right? Yeah. Okay. But Dead Silence. I just think that it's got the best twist at the end that the daddy was also a puppet. Like, what?
I mean, you just spoiled that twist for everybody that's
The
listening.
movie has been out for like 3 decades, y'all. If you have not seen it at this point, I don't know what to tell you.
You gotta give people warning. You just can't be offering all spoilers.
Spoilers,
That's
spoilers.
crazy.
No, but Dead Silence was almost, it's all like it made its budget back. It had $20 million that it cost, 22.4 at the box office. But again, everybody wanted to see Saw. This was right after the first Saw. So just putting that out there. But again, this wasn't the same. Like, I don't think this, like I said, James had his name on it, but he wasn't the one that wrote and directed it. But they had to put his name on it because they're using his characters. So,
and with that being said,
let's go back to the original list. All right, so I'm gonna list off what we're gonna rank today. But we had to put that out there. I had to put that out there.
Yeah. So this is the Dual Decisions master list.
Yes,
that we're gonna rate.
Yes. So
rank
in no particular order, just to list off to remind you what we talked about way before we got into the rest of our movies that are not on this list. The movies we are going to rank are Poseidon, the 2006 version.
Fire.
The Thing, the 1982 version.
Also fire.
Shawshank Redemption.
Mega fire.
The 1996 version of Matilda. Because remember, there's a musical out.
Silence.
The Suicide Squad, but the 2020 James Gunn version. 21. Sorry,
Wait,
21.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
The original
yes.
is called Suicide Squad.
Yes. This is the Suicide Squad. James Gunn. Okay.
Yep.
James Gunn. Hocus Pocus.
Fire.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Fire.
Undercover Brother.
Also fire.
Treasure Planet.
Mega fire.
And In the Heights.
Warm. It was good.
It was a good movie.
It was good.
It's a movie musical. Like if you don't like movie musicals, though,
that's fire.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
it deserved better.
Okay.
All right, so what would number 1 be? Oh my goodness.
Shawshank. I think Shawshank has to be number 1 because I think that is the.
It's like an epitome of like Oscar.
Yeah. Like to me, Shawshank is universal, amazing movie.
Okay, so
I think Shawshank will have to be number 1.
If Shawshank is number 1, The Thing has to be number 2, because literally, it was right after Alien, because Alien is 1979. I did my research.
Yeah, so yeah,
like sci-fi movies. It's right after Alien.
I actually agree with that. Yeah, I think we can go number 1, Shawshank. Number 2, I would say Signs.
The Thing.
The Thing.
Signs made its money back.
Yeah.
And
then 3.
Yes, number 3. Oh my gosh.
Run down the list again.
Okay, so right now we have
what's left?
Poseidon, Matilda, The Suicide Squad, Hocus Pocus, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Undercover Brother, Treasure Planet, and In the Heights.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you where my mind is at, and then you tell me if you agree or disagree. I'm thinking Hocus Pocus. No, my bad. Undercover Brother 3, Hocus Pocus 4.
I was thinking Matilda 3, Undercover Brother 4.
Do people really like Matilda?
I love Matilda. Everybody had a Miss Honey as a teacher, bro.
See,
even if we had Miss Trench Bowls, we've had a Miss Honey.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's just shout out to all the teachers out there, you know.
I just don't know if people love Matilda, but once again, I guess this is personal preference.
Honestly, the most iconic scene out of that movie is when
okay, look.
That cake scene.
How about this? How about we do Undercover Brother,
Okay.
Hocus Pocus, and
Okay.
then Matilda 5, right? There'll be 5, right?
Yeah.
Matilda be 5th.
Yeah, let it slide. Only because I do know it's a battle between like Hocus Pocus, the iconicness. I liked 2. You know, now we're just referring to the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hocus Pocus 2 was fine.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun little movie.
Okay, so
Would
number
I watch it again every Christmas? Probably Christmas.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Would I watch it again every Halloween? Probably not.
No,
You know what I
probably
mean?
go with
But
the first one.
yeah, I probably watched the original. But yeah.
So number 3, we're going with Undercover Brother. Number
Hocus
4.
Pocus.
Okay.
And then Matilda.
Okay. And then we got Matilda. All right, so we have
What's the 5 we got left?
We have In the Heights, Treasure Planet, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I forgot all about Treasure Planet. I really should have ranked that higher. That
Poseidon.
Movie is really good.
And The Suicide Squad.
So this thing, I'm not going to argue that Poseidon should be anywhere.
I think Poseidon.
I know Poseidon was my first movie. And that is because I absolutely love Poseidon. But once
it's such a thriller.
Yeah, because this thing, it just comes down to personal preference.
Okay, so I think Poseidon should be number 8.
I think Poseidon should be 10.
It don't deserve to be that low.
No, because this thing, from all the other movies you named, I don't think there's anything that deserves to be
In the
under
Heights
Poseidon.
definitely deserve to be 6.
No.
Yes.
Number 6, I think, has to be Treasure Planet. Just because Treasure Planet, I think, is literally a movie that holds up in 20 years.
See, and I can't argue because I haven't seen it. So
yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate for you.
Oh my goodness.
Watch the movies.
Oh jeez.
Okay. Treasure Planet, I think, is absolutely amazing. Still holds up, still holds interest, and was
You putting that over The Suicide Squad?
Yeah, because I think Treasure Planet showcases his budget and the artistry that's actually put into the movie.
Okay. So then
I will put Treasure Planet at 6.
Well, then number 7 needs to be In the Heights.
I can go for that. Only because
and then The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I'll do that because see, the whole thing with In the Heights is, once again, that movie looks really good, and I'm super surprised that his budget was that low.
Yes.
Because it looks like a much
I want to know how much Hamilton was.
Well, they just filmed the play.
Well, yeah. But I mean, just kind of like... Well, also, Hamilton never got a theatrical release. It was straight to Disney+. So we will never know how much it could have made in the theaters. Okay, so then we still have...
should be what?
Yes.
Well, actually, should be only one, right?
Because Poseidon and Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah, see, for me, I said Poseidon. Poseidon, I think, should be 10.
And I think it should be number 9.
Yeah, I think Poseidon should be 10, and I think Scott Pilgrim should be 9.
Again, I haven't seen Scott Pilgrim.
Come on. Is
I know.
this a failure on me?
Yes.
But yeah, I think Spot. Jesus, I can't talk.
Scott.
It's the 4th of July, everybody. I don't know what's going on. My chakras ain't in line. I don't know. I think Shot. Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. What's going on? Scott Pilgrim, I think, should be 9.
Okay.
And then Poseidon 10. To this day.
Why Poseidon at the bottom, though? It deserves some sort of respect.
Yeah, but this thing, I think Scott Pilgrim is way more rewatchable and enjoyable of a film than Poseidon is. Just because Scott Pilgrim is fun from beginning to the end. Like,
yes, and Poseidon's meant to be like a thriller drama.
Right, but I'm talking about overall. Wasn't this personal preference?
Adventure movie.
I'll put both of these movies on there. Okay, I think Scott Pilgrim should go above Poseidon. Just because I think that Scott Pilgrim is a way more enjoyable film overall. To watch from front to back constantly. Poseidon is like a once every couple months or years. I go, I think watch Poseidon. You know what I mean?
Well, it's such a sad. See, again, I'm just like, I like to cry at everything. I definitely cried during watching Poseidon. So sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to cry.
Was that the final one?
Yes. So,
so
I'm going to go from 10 to 1. We're going to go backwards today.
So this is the official Dual Decisions ranking for the top 10 box office flops that were actually good to us. Okay. If you don't like these movies, then go make one. That's crazy.
Yeah. You research.
Make your own podcast.
No,
And then
also,
pay us
as you could see,
to
we
sponsor you on
didn't.
this podcast.
Well, as you could hear, we don't agree. So make sure you come back to our socials on Tuesday to see where we ranked these separately. Because I don't really agree. So I'm gonna go from 10 to 1. Number 10 is Poseidon. Number 9 is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Number 8 is The Suicide Squad, James Gunn. The. Number 7 is In the Heights. Number 6 is Treasure Planet. Number 5 is Matilda.
I tried to say fire and my voice broke. It's like fire.
Number 4 is Hocus Pocus.
Put a spell on you.
Number 3 is Undercover Brother. Number 2 is The Thing. And number 1, to trump all of y'all, is The Shawshank Redemption. With that, we've been here for a minute, y'all.
Yeah. Now, I do want to say something. This once again, just so y'all know, in case you haven't noticed. Surprise, I'm black. Okay. Whenever I hear Undercover Brother, it makes me want an orange soda.
Oh my goodness.
The first scene that goes to my mind is when he whipping the car with the cup. That's
with
clearly
the cup,
like a fake plastic
the
thing.
big slurp, and it just don't spill nowhere.
Yeah, like that just remind me of
he caused so many car crashes. Yeah. And then his car is fine.
That to me just remind me of like a nice old school back in the day McDonald's trip with a nice orange Fanta and a giant cup. But
yes.
Fanta.
Yes, it's Fanta.
It's Fanta. Okay, I've never met anybody in my life to call them Fantas.
Fanta. Okay.
You know, hold on. Before we
Yes.
It's Fanta, right?
It's definitely Fanta.
It's definitely Fanta.
It's definitely Fanta. Oh my goodness. Anyways, make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms. Like, subscribe to our YouTube at Do Decisions.
Yep. At Do Decisions everywhere.
Everywhere. And with that, we will see y'all next week.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.